You have about 30,000 days on this earth. That's the whole budget. Not a metaphor, a number. If you're 30, roughly 11,000 of them are already spent, and they're not coming back for a refund. I'll get to it someday. Someday is the most dangerous word in the language because it lets you believe the clock isn't running. Over the next few minutes, forget generic productivity tips. This is about how time, energy, and attention actually behave, and how to stop losing all three without noticing. Chapter 1. Time Perception and Psychology. Think back to a childhood summer. 2 months felt like a small lifetime. Now a whole year disappears somewhere between January and a blink. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain doesn't track time. It tracks new information. As a kid, everything was new, so everything got recorded in detail, so the days felt long in memory. As an adult, the same commute, the same breakfast, the same 3 shows on repeat, your brain stops bothering to file any of it away. Not because less time passed, because nothing was worth remembering. Just another normal day. That sentence is the sound of your life quietly shrinking. The fix isn't complicated. Take an unfamiliar route home, pick up a skill you've never touched, talk to someone you'd normally walk past. Every new input forces your brain back into recording mode, and time subjectively expands again. There's a companion trap here too. We badly overrate what a single day can hold and badly underrate what a full year can build. That mismatch is exactly why most goals die in the second week. The day feels like it accomplished nothing, so people quit right before compounding would have kicked in. Chapter 2. Health and Vitality. Health isn't one item on the list. It's the multiplier sitting underneath every other item. Every part of your life either improves or suffers based on this one variable, whether you're tracking it or not. Would you rather have 8 hours at full charge or 12 hours running on fumes? Most people default to more hours and wonder why none of them feel productive. I'll sleep when I'm dead is not a badge of honor. It's a decision to think, judge, and choose worse. Sleep isn't time off. It's the maintenance shift for the exact systems that regulate your mood and your judgment. Skip it enough nights in a row, and you're operating at a quiet, invisible deficit. Some studies put underslept decision-making on par with being mildly drunk. Here's something rarely said out loud. You're 2 different people depending on the hour. Morning, you makes the plans. Evening, you has to actually execute them, tired, tempted, and out of willpower. Don't let morning you write checks, evening you can't cash. And movement isn't separate from thinking. It feeds it. A short walk, 10 push-ups, a few minutes of stretching. These small doses add up, and your body was never built to sit still for 8 straight hours. Stuck on a hard problem? Moving often unlocks what sitting still couldn't. Chapter 3. Personal Energy. Time management is close to useless without energy management. You can't do meaningful work running on empty, no matter how well the hours are scheduled. Willpower behaves like a muscle, not a personality trait. It fatigues with every decision you make all day, drawing from one shared tank. That's why bad choices cluster at night. Not weak character, just an empty tank. The people who seem disciplined usually aren't relying on willpower at all. They've engineered an environment where the good choice is the default one. Same clothes, same simple breakfast, same low-friction morning. Not minimalism for its own sake, but energy rationing for the decisions that actually deserve it. Most people never audit which activities top up that tank and which quietly siphon it off. That morning walk, a deposit. That one draining friendship, a leak you've been ignoring. Have you actually checked which is which? There's a related trick worth stealing: strategic incompetence. Being deliberately unremarkable at low-value tasks means people stop routing them to you, which keeps your energy ring-fenced for the 2 or 3 things you're actually meant to be excellent at. Chapter 4. Priority Management. Being busy and being productive are not the same activity, even though they feel identical from the inside. Try the deathbed test. Picture yourself at 90, looking back. Do you remember the extra hour at the office or the evening you gave to the people you love? I'll finish this report first. Meanwhile, the parts of life that were supposed to be the point keep slipping one ordinary day at a time. Here's a strategy worth stealing. Make 2 lists. One is everything you want to achieve. Circle only the top 3. Everything else on that page becomes your avoid list, deliberately and on purpose. Knowing what not to do turns out to be more valuable than knowing what to do, because attention, like money, compounds. Small, consistent investment in the right 3 things outgrows scattered effort every time. Social feeds, busy work, and low-value distraction are simply withdrawals from that account. Time is too limited a currency to spend it there. Chapter 5. Career and Purpose. The best opportunity in your career almost never sits where you're already comfortable. It sits one step outside it, in what's sometimes called the adjacent possible, the space between what you already know and what you could plausibly learn next. I should stay in my lane. That sentence is how careers get stuck. The classic mistake is optimizing for money too early. In your 20s and early 30s, optimize for learning instead. Every skill is a lottery ticket for an opportunity you can't see yet, and money tends to follow competence, not the other way around. Forget the latter image entirely. A modern career moves more like a jungle gym, sideways, diagonal, sometimes backward, and each unusual move builds a skill combination nobody else has, which is exactly what makes you hard to replace. This job is comfortable. Comfort is career quicksand. The longer you stay somewhere you've outgrown, the harder the exit becomes. One useful trick: when you're avoiding a task by procrastinating, notice what you procrastinate into. That drift often points straight at your real interest. Chapter 6. Learning and Growth. Want to learn something at twice the speed? Teach it before you feel ready. I'm not ready to teach yet, but that hesitation is exactly why you should. Struggling with something recently makes you a better guide through it than someone who mastered it years ago and forgot what was confusing. Explaining out loud forces a level of clarity that passive review never reaches, because you can't fake understanding in front of another person. A second shortcut: read biographies. Each one hands you decades of someone else's trial and error compressed into a few hours. A strange kind of time travel and cheap insurance against repeating mistakes you could have simply read about. And here's a permission slip most people never give themselves: stay deliberately mediocre at things that don't matter to you. Trying to be excellent at everything spreads you thin and keeps your ego fragile. Deliberate amateurism, on purpose, keeps your ego in check and your attention free. Constraints, limited time, limited money, limited resources, aren't the enemy of growth. They're what forces creativity in the first place. And knowing when to quit isn't failure. It's closing a door so your hands are free for a better one. Quit fast on anything that stopped teaching you something. Chapter 7. Emotional Intelligence. Every emotion has a lifespan. The first wave of anger, fear, or frustration runs on pure chemistry, about 90 seconds, and you don't get a vote on that part. I can't help how I feel. True, for the first wave, everything after that is a choice, even when it doesn't feel like one. Staying steady under pressure earns more trust than raw intelligence ever will, because people gravitate toward whoever doesn't panic when things get chaotic. And vulnerability, used deliberately rather than avoided entirely, builds more trust than a permanent mask of composure. Most people hide it. The sharper move is choosing the right moment to show it. One more costly habit: the conversation you keep avoiding doesn't disappear. It accrues interest, like unpaid debt, and gets more expensive the longer you wait. Say the hard thing early, and say the easy thing too. Unspoken gratitude is a balance you can never actually withdraw from. Use it before it expires. Chapter 8. Relationship Dynamics. Relationships behave like bank accounts. A genuine compliment is a deposit. Chronic lateness is a withdrawal. And just like a real bank, you can't withdraw what you never deposited. I don't understand why they're upset. I only reach out when I need something. There's the whole problem, stated plainly. Grand gestures get remembered, but they're not what relationships run on day to day. A random check-in text remembering a small detail, showing up during a hard week, those tiny, unglamorous deposits are what actually compound. And counterintuitively, going through something difficult together builds a tighter bond than sharing something pleasant ever does. Don't neglect your weak ties either: the casual acquaintances, the friend of a friend. Close relationships comfort you. Those looser ones are usually your bridge to a genuinely new idea, job, or perspective, precisely because they see a different slice of the world than you do. And if you want to feel like you have more time, try giving some of it away. Helping someone else is one of the few genuine paradoxes here. It expands the very resource it spends. Chapter 9. Social capital success was never just about what you know. It's also about who you know. But real social capital was never about the size of your contact list either. I don't have time for networking. That misses the point entirely. The best networkers aren't collecting people, they're connecting them. There's a simple formula underneath every lasting relationship: time, honesty, and shared experience. 3 ingredients that flatly resist shortcuts. Most people underinvest in maintaining what they already have, waiting for a wedding or a funeral to reconnect, when the actual bonds are built in small, unremarkable moments. A quick coffee, a random check-in. Think of a community like a garden. You can't plant every seed at once and expect it to grow unattended. It wants constant small acts of tending, and the people who build that garden before they need it are the ones who have somewhere to turn when they finally do. Chapter 10. Financial Wisdom. Money isn't really about the number in the account. It's about how much of your time you get to buy back. Here's the trap almost nobody sees coming. As income rises, lifestyle quietly rises to match it. Bigger house, more upkeep. Nicer car, more worry. Finally, I can afford everything I wanted, except lifestyle inflation is a treadmill, motion without progress. Run the real numbers. Would you rather earn more and work constantly, or earn less and get your evenings back? Your true hourly rate has to include everything you gave up to earn it, not just the figure on the paycheck. Most people default to buying objects and renting experiences. Try reversing that. An object starts losing value the moment you own it. An experience tends to gain value the longer it sits in memory, which makes it, oddly, the better long-term investment. And the real financial skill isn't a bigger income, it's margin. Living below what you make isn't restriction, it's manufacturing space for the opportunity you can't yet see coming. Chapter 11. Creative living. Creativity isn't lightning you wait around for. It behaves more like plumbing. Turn the tap on and the first water out is rusty, unusable, occasionally embarrassing. I'm waiting for the perfect idea. That's like waiting for clean water without ever turning the tap on. You need the bad ideas. They clear the pipe for the good ones. And counterintuitively, limits sharpen creative work instead of choking it. Unlimited options tend to freeze people. A few firm constraints tend to focus them. Create first, judge later. Trying to generate and critique in the same breath is like driving with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. Keep the early, rough attempts around too. They're your evidence of range and proof the faucet is working. Chapter 12. Mental models. Every mental model you carry is a simplified sketch of a complicated world. And that's not a design flaw. It's the only way a mind could function at all without freezing under the weight of every variable. Most decisions run on fast, easy shortcuts that feel accurate and frequently aren't. The upgrade isn't more information. It's a habit of asking not just what happens next, but what happens after that. Most people are playing checkers while the actual situation in front of them is playing chess. Knowledge and understanding aren't the same currency either. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is technically a fruit. Understanding is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Collecting facts is easy. Collecting the patterns underneath them is the harder, more valuable skill. Chapter 13. Life design. Your life isn't happening to you. It's being built, one decision at a time, whether or not you're paying attention. I need to figure everything out first. That instinct is exactly backward. You can't think your way into the right life. You test your way there. Small experiments, honest results, adjust and repeat. Stop chasing a perfect blueprint and change one thing for 5 minutes. That's a low enough bar that it actually gets done, and momentum has never once asked for certainty, only for a beginning. Today, not someday, time is going to keep moving regardless of what you decide to do with this particular hour. Your habits become your days become your years become the entire shape of a life, whether you were deliberate about it or not. You don't have infinite time, you never did, but you have today, and unlike someday, today is the one that actually exists.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं फिल्मोरा है ना।